Today's postcard is from a small town with a big international reputation. We're in Llangollen, Denbighshire. This tiny, tiny little room is the nerve centre of one of the biggest international festivals in the world, Maureen, isn't it?
It is. This actually was a cell. This was an old jail way back in the 1800s. And actually, if you notice, I've got the bars and the windows.
Oh gosh, you have?
Yes, yes. And the studded doors.
You have?
Yes.
I didn't realise that.
Oh yes, this is a cell and upstairs was the courthouse.
So all the ne'er-do-wells of Llangollen used to be in here?
Yes. And I find it even cold with the heating on, so I don't know what it was like to be a prisoner way back in 1800.
Now, we were having a little chat earlier, talking about ne'er-do-wells. Are you one of the four tarts? With the tenor being Pavarotti.
No, the title of the programme, which was very good about the build-up of a community's involvement in Pavarotti's return, was called Four Tarts for a Tenor. And it starts with the waiter of the Bryn Howell running up the stairs with these four little strawberry tarts. Because Pavarotti liked them so much at the banquet we had afterwards. He said, send four of those up to my room. So that was the caption, Four Tarts for a Tenor. I thought it was very good.
I'm glad you've explained that.
Yes.
You've got all of these people here. They're very, very famous, but there's a not so famous as well that come from all over the world, don't they?
Oh yes, we have about 10,000 competitors that come from 50 countries worldwide every year. They've been coming now for over 51 years.
And you've added to that internationalism because you're Irish.
Yes, yes indeed. But you may say I am Irish. I was born in Ireland, but I've lived in Wales for 40 years.
We've met Sheila down at the tourism centre who's Scottish.
That's right.
You're Irish. The Celts are strong in Llangollen.
Well, it is an international festival, so it should be appropriate that we should have a wide range of people.
How did it begin?
Very simply, in 1946, people weary after the Second World War thought, let's create a festival that will be a platform for people of all nations to meet and communicate through music and thereby promote peace, harmony and greater understanding. And that's what we've been trying to do for 51 years.
But why Llangollen?
Because the town thought of it. Because
it was their idea?
Yes. It was one particular man, a man called Harold Tudor, and he talked to W.S. Gwyn Williams, who was he had a music publishing business. He also wrote the wonderful little tune, My Little Welsh Home. So W.S. Gwyn had great contacts in the musical world, and in 1946 these people set up and they designed and laid out a system that we still operate 51 years on. I think it was incredible, the foresight in 1946, because you got to remember food was rationed, very few people had cars, nobody had television. So I mean, to think of a concept that 51 years later is still going, and we haven't altered it from the original. It's still the same setup.
Now we've got to make the distinction between your Eisteddfod and the Bardic one that moves round Wales, haven't we?
Yes, we're two very different. I think the word Eisteddfod confuses people. We maybe should be called a festival, but we've been called an Eisteddfod for 51 years, so I think we'll stick with it. But Eisteddfod comes from the Welsh verb Eisted, which is to sit, and in the national Eisteddfod, it's a sitting of bards, whereas with ours, it's a sitting of nations. We have over 50 nations who come here to compete, so I like to think of it as a sitting of nations.
Have a good Eisteddfod. When is it next year?
The 7th to the 12th of July. We're starting with Nigel Kennedy and the London Philharmonic Orchestra. So
that's not a bad start.
No, it's not.
And some of your famous people.
Oh yes, well Luciano was wonderful, he really was.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel very sorry for him because I think the press give him a very hard time because he is a very kind, a very gentle and a very sensitive person, and he does not eat tons of pasta.
Listen, the whole point is that we all get a hard time for in the public eye, and if you're fat or overweight, for some unknown reason, that's not meant to make you a nice person. But we're living proof. We're lovely, aren't we?
Yes, fat is beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, in America, they don't call us, they just call us above average, which I think is so much nicer.
Oh my goodness, we're above average mentally, intellectually,
you
physically,
yes.
Amorously, romantically. Do you want to throw anything else in there, Maureen?
No, I think that'll do for starters.